Are you there?
Yes. Hi, Dr. Singh.
Hi, Charlae. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I am so excited to have you on today because I just feel like so many women, especially, are going to resonate with your story and your journey and where you started from and just where you are today. So I'd love for you just to kind of first just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, like who you are, what's your family situation, like what all you have going on, because you have a lot going on. You're a very busy and ambitious woman. I'd love for others to know that.
So, I'm a mom of two. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I homeschool them both. So, that keeps me very busy. I also just finished up getting my certification for medical billing and coding. So, I passed my exam. So, I'm super happy about that. So, those were two things that I was kind of juggling in the midst of doing this process. Trying to figure out how to make sure that I set myself up for success was a big thing for me. Making a plan and making lists, especially when it came to grocery shopping and making sure I had the proper things that I needed. Also, I started a part-time job a couple weeks ago. So I also work on Fridays and Saturdays and kind of juggle homeschooling Monday through Thursday. So that's just a few things that I've been, juggling while doing this process. I also was diagnosed about 10 years ago with PCOS, and that's what led me on this journey and led me to Dr. Singh is that I was diagnosed about 10 years ago, but I was never given any direction. I was never, I was told I could go on the birth control pill or metformin. I was also told by certain doctors that if I lost weight, all my symptoms would go away. And I have in the past reached my goal weight, and I'm here to tell you that PCOS is something that losing weight, it does help with the symptoms, but it doesn't get rid of the symptoms. You have to work on your metabolic health. And that was something I was never told previously.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing that, because as you probably know, PCOS is the number one endocrine disorder that women struggle with. And the imbalances that come along with PCOS really do and can increase the risk for many later stage diseases and conditions. So it's so important to, like you said, address the metabolic health underground. And so what were some of your symptoms that you were struggling with when you were considering joining the MHR program?
Well, I was tired from the moment I woke up in the morning, but then I had insomnia at night. So that was really frustrating for me that I would be tired all day, but then when it was time for me to go to bed at night, I couldn't sleep through the night or I had trouble falling asleep. So that was something that was very frustrating for me. It didn't matter if I got my 8 hours, I still was having that struggle. Also, I had put on weight pretty quickly, like 20 pounds within like a year. And it was very stubborn. And I wasn't changing anything. I was still eating the same way, exercising the same way. I did have a few stressful things occur in my life as far as family members and losing ones and death. But when it came to like the way I was exercising and eating, nothing had changed there. So the fact that I was packing on the pounds and I had this stubborn belly fat, which even when I had gained weight previously, I did not have that stubborn belly fat that I had this time. Also, I started getting acne again, which I hadn't had since I was a teenager. I had it, I think, when I first got diagnosed with PCOS, but then after I had my kids, it kind of went away and I started getting it again. So that was another thing. Also, my hair started thinning. Like when I would wash my hair, there were like big hair balls, and that was a new symptom as well.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. So then, thank goodness we found each other and you decided to join the program, which I'm so glad you did. And then tell us a little bit about like your journey and what you started noticing as a part of the program, and kind of walk us through the shifts that you started noticing and how you're feeling. And also if you want to share with us how much weight you've lost or where you started from and where you are now?
So I noticed, I would say within 4 or 5 days of being on the program, I was sleeping better. I was sleeping better. I wasn't waking up as lethargic either. When I woke up in the morning, I felt like, energetic and like I could get my day started, and I didn't feel like I needed to go back to sleep. So that was a big difference for me, being able to wake up in the morning, feel refreshed and charged up to do all the things that I needed to get done in a day. And then also being able to go to sleep at night and stay asleep. So that was a big thing for me that I noticed within the first week. I also noticed that my clothes were fitting better, which was a big deal. Being able to put on clothes that I hadn't been able to wear in a while and, quite some time. And then also being able to physically see that the clothes are a good indicator, but also being able to see it in number form, being able to see it on the scale, and also taking my measurements and seeing those inches go down, and also being able to see the weight come off. So I have lost 22 pounds as of today, and a total of 20 inches.
Oh my God, that's amazing. 22 pounds and 20 inches. That's fantastic. And I just want to point out, because I remember when we chatted, a couple of weeks ago, and we were just catching up. And one of the two things that stuck out for me, you said, it was just your confidence had shot up and your energy levels. And I just like, oh yes, that's when that happens from within, then it just opens the doors, right? You're just able to do so much more.
Yeah, I feel like I was getting everything done, all the things. Like as a mom, your job is never done. I was able to achieve the things that I needed to get done in a day, but I felt like I was dragging myself, especially when I got to like the afternoon, hitting that afternoon slump and not knowing, like I knew I didn't want to do caffeine. I haven't done caffeine in a long time. So I knew I didn't want to go to caffeine, but now that I'm eating in a more stable way and my blood sugar is more stable, I'm not having that crash in the afternoon that I once was having, that I felt like I was at a crossroads of trying to figure out what I wanted to do in order to get over that slump. So now I don't even have to worry about it because my body just gives me that push that I need. And I feel like my body's very stable with my energy levels throughout the day.
Oh, I love that so much, so much. And then the other thing I would love for you to share is that because you've also done Weight Watchers in the past, how would you compare the two? Because you said it, you mentioned a couple of things to me, and I was like, oh, this would be really helpful for other people to hear as well.
So I've done Weight Watchers on and off for quite a few years. And the biggest thing that I never cared for was the tracking, because every time I went to make a meal or I, grab something to eat, I had to scan it or type it into the app. And sometimes too, I feel like it was interrupting mealtime. Like that, I felt like before I could sit down with my family, I was like scanning the salad dressing, scanning this and scanning that. So that was one thing about doing Weight Watchers, was I could not stand all of the tracking, because it does take, when you have a busy lifestyle, it takes time out of your day. And the other thing is, I lost weight way quicker with doing this program than I ever have with Weight Watchers. Like even before having kids, and I, didn't have all the PCOS struggles and everything, this worked way faster than Weight Watchers ever has.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. So, so much. Thank you for sharing that. And so, for anyone who's thinking about the MHR program, who's considering it, what would you tell them? What would you say?
That your body will adjust to eating just real food. You will start to crave those veggies and the fruit and just eating without all the additives. We already were dairy free and gluten free in our home, but realizing how many hidden sugars there were, especially in sauces and salad dressings and oils and things that are in everyday items you have in your home, really was an eye opener. But realizing that you can eat in a healthy way, in a way that you feel so full and satiated. I never was hungry. Like I would eat my meals, because I've intermittent fasted in the past, and I really enjoyed it. But now I'm seeing how when you eat properly in proper serving sizes and you're cutting out the sugars, how your body really breaks that food down and keeps you full over a longer period of time. So I feel like eating what I was making at home and eating healthier and making sure that I was getting enough of the fresh veggies, I think really made a big difference. And for anybody that wants to do the challenge, I highly suggest meal prepping. That was a big thing for me, that when I had veggies already cut up in the refrigerator or meat that was already pre-portioned, all of those things made it easier, because then I wasn't like getting to the point where I was hungry and I was like going through the kitchen trying to figure out, what am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? It was already there. All I had to do was put it on a plate and warm it up. So yeah, making sure that you go to the store and get everything you need for the week, and then prepping in advance really made a big difference and made it easier for me with my hectic lifestyle.
Oh, I love that. That's a fantastic tip. Yep. I couldn't agree more. And also, just for all of you to know, Charlae was a part of the December challenge. So she just started when did you actually start the program? Was it January? By the time you got your blood work and everything done?
I think I started at the beginning of February.
Beginning of February. So from February to the end of March, and she has lost 22 pounds and 20 inches. So for anyone who would like similar benefits, and not just the weight, right? It's a lot of non-scale victories as well. We like to call them non-scale victories in our program. And so if you just want to feel better and lose the weight, I would encourage all of you to consider the MHR program. And if any of you have any specific questions while Charlae's still on, please feel free to ask them. Let's see. Oh, so great story. Someone's just making a comment that's such a great story. So happy for you. And also just talking about how eating real food and cutting out the processed food is such a key benefit, because that's the other thing. In a lot of these other programs, it's a lot of packaged food. It's a lot of processed food. It's a lot of stuff that, yes, it may help you lose the weight. However, it's also introducing a lot of things your body doesn't need, that's actually contraindicating what we're trying to do in terms of optimizing metabolic health. And so yes, eating real food is the goal, and helping your body learn to appreciate it again is one of the main goals of this program. And I'm just so excited for you, because now you have helped your body shift from a metabolically inflexible state back to a metabolically flexible state. And you have just set the stage for long-term health, long-term optimal weight, and optimal hormonal balance. So I am so, so happy that you joined. I'm just so ecstatic to be a part of your journey and your results, and it just continues. So